Welcome to the BumbleKast. I'm your host, Ian Flynn, the Bumble King, and joining me as always is my Bumble co-host, Kyle, JCRB Krause.
Hello there. How are you doing, everybody? It's a Friday, and it's a standard episode day. It's totally Friday. Don't look behind the curtain on the previous day's Saturday. No, don't. Anyway, how you doing, Ian?
I'm doing just fine, sir. Where do these standard questions come from this time?
These are all from our October 2022 live stream. So,
goodness,
we're catching up-ish. We're not, but hey, we're trying. Yeah, we're trying. Hey, we got a lot of questions to get through, so let's not waste any time. We're doing a whole bunch of them because, most of them are pretty short, so makes it easy to get through a lot. Starting off with this one here from Mafi Channel. I recently discovered that Ian plays Genshin Impact. My questions are, what do you think of the story so far? Are you excited for the 3.2 update? And who's your favorite character?
I am enjoying it. I haven't had a chance to get into 3.2 and the rest of the Archon quest. I've started it, but I have not gotten through it because I don't have time to do that. And I really enjoy it. I like the way that the story unfolds because it gives you, most of it up front through the story quests, sure. But there's so much more hidden throughout. The books that you find, the stories attached to the various gear that you can unlock. And it's not all presented just straightforward. There is author bias in each thing that you read, which is really neat in terms of detail. So keeping track of it all and figuring out how it all fits together, it's a bit a lot, but that's fun. It doesn't feel like it's convoluted. It just feels like it's complex, and I greatly appreciate that. Also, I'm a little smug that I kind of guessed where some of 3.1 was going, so look at me being able to figure out narrative tropes.
What? No, you have no idea. You don't understand narrative tropes at all, depending on who you ask.
Favorite character? There's a lot of great ones in there, but I got to put my boy Zhongli up there atop. What's the Kneel before Rex Lapis, baby.
What's the name of his theme song? He's got a theme song.
Oh, can't remember off the top of my head.
It was Rex Incognito. That's it. Yeah, that's the one that gets a lot of remix love. It's a great song, though. I totally get it.
No, he will have order. But honorable mention goes to Arataki Ito, because, dear Lord, everything that man says is hilarious. Big himbo energy.
Yeah. I've still not played Genshin Impact. I'm weirded out that you're talking so highly of what I thought was just a gacha game, but Well,
that's the thing. We weren't going to play it for the longest time, and then one of our regular mobile games died unceremoniously.
Yeah, I know, the Tales.
So we kind of downloaded it out of spite. And it's it's free, so if we don't like it, we can just get rid of it, so who cares? And no, it has extremely high production values in terms of story, music, voice acting, graphical fidelity. It's a gorgeous game.
Yes.
Oh my God, it's so pretty.
Yes, they aped a lot of Breath of the Wild's look, though, at least for that initial.
Oh, sure, you can see it where the inspirations are.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I feel like it stands on its own. The core combat itself is fairly basic, but that's because you're supposed to build on it. You're not supposed to go in with just one character. You're supposed to arrange your party in a way that it synergizes. Make use of the different elements and their reactions and build upon it. And you can do some crazy stuff if you have the right loadouts.
Right.
It is a little bit grindy, to be sure, but most of the grind kind of comes late game when you're trying to min-max stuff.
Mm-hmm.
For the longest time, I wasn't paying attention to most of my gear and was doing pretty fine getting through stuff. So, and I've not spent a dime on it. And I have a pretty robust party. I've got to go to a 4 that gets me through most situations.
Nice.
And, the number of events and things you can do to get your in-game currency to do gacha rolls is fairly generous, all things considered. So You can very easily just play for free on it and get a excellent experience.
So what you're saying
Genshin,
is
sponsor us.
So what you're
I will say more. Genshin, give us money.
So what you're saying,
or Pyrogems. I will pay the Pyrogems.
So what you're saying is that it's not Diablo Immortal. Got it. We got a question here from Michael H. What if, after fleeing Sonic and Tails, their nanoskeleton mutates into its origin, the metal virus, zombodifying them, but they keep their sentience? What do they do with this development? I'm assuming they're talking about Surgeon Kit.
Yeah, I was a little confused by this one. So, number one, you don't have to worry about that. The metal virus used in their construction is inert. It's not going to activate. They're not going to turn into zombots. But if they did, just for the sake of the question, they retain their sentience, so now they actively know that they can infect people.
And they're practically invincible, and they can go around and infect people, and that's a terrifying thought.
It's more or less the end of the world at that point. They're going to cause problems, and they're going to do it for funsies.
Well, Surge definitely is. Kit might have reservations at first, for 2 seconds.
Until tells him he doesn't have any reservations.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know about this. Yes, you do.
Yep.
Go lick that tree.
This wall tastes like dirt.
Everything tastes metallic. Oh, wait.
No. Here's a question from LOL. If you can't answer, I understand, but Ian, are you the writer for the games going forward past Frontiers, or is that not known or can't be said yet?
That can't be said yet for a variety of reasons. Number one, if I was, I couldn't talk about it. NDAs and all that. Number two, nothing is certain. I am freelance. So, if they want me back, awesome. They have my number. If they don't, well, I got to do Frontiers, and that was fantastic, and hopefully they'll keep me in mind. But nothing is certain. Nothing is set in stone. So we'll just have to see.
That answer is very...
And every time I throw out a hashtag knowing smile, you'll wonder, is it a game? Or is it some other project? You'll never know!
That answer is very sus, sir. I'll have you know. I'll have you know.
I am as honest as I can be.
Okay. Here's a question from JW. So you mean to tell me that Dr. Light, the same man who invented time travel, gemstones that can create anything with sun energy, couldn't figure out human-like AI until his death?
Number one, did he actually do the time skimmer? I thought that was somebody else.
I don't remember.
We gave that to somebody else in the comic.
But no, I'm pretty sure he figured out human-like AI way earlier than that, because Mega Man rock and roll are pretty close.
Yeah, but I think they're making a very distinction.
I know.
X and them.
I know.
So,
I get it, but
two,
I'm just saying. But also, he did invent Time Man, to be fair.
That's also true. But number two, he was busy with all those other things. Man only has so many hours in the day, and he's old. He's got to get his sleep. He can't be figuring out everything all at once. And maybe if Wily wasn't messing things up, every other Friday, he'd have time. Could have figured this out a long time ago.
Rude.
Albert.
Maybe if he and Wily could actually, friggin' work together, they could have done some really amazing things. But no, Albert just had to be a little whiny baby all the time. Go throw tantrums all the time with his robots. What a jerk. Here's one from Cruel Alchemist. In a September BumbleKast, Ian responded to a question regarding Silver staying in the past with his friends with, "Stay tuned to next year's books." Does this mean Silver is going to get the spotlight in the next arc or get a miniseries next year?
I'm not going to spoil nothing.
Alrighty then. Here's one from Stephen A. I've never understood this odd fascination for the Phantom Ruby.
It's a new fancy mystical gem thingy.
If there's one thing the Sonic series has no shortage of, it's mystic, fancy, mysterious gem thingies.
It's the new toy. And, it was built up to be a big, bad thing, and it has a very interesting potential to it.
Yes.
It creates virtual constructs, and it was wielded by a malicious individual. So I think you could have had more opportunity to get real messing with your mind type of stuff. I want to phrase that another way, but we are a family show. You could really start playing with people's perceptions and, their very concept of reality. And we didn't get the opportunity to do that because Infinite became very finite by the end, I think. Nobody's quite sure. So if it pops up again, cool. We have a new toy to play with and we can do some stuff with it. If it doesn't, well, oh well. Moving on.
Well, I mean, rocks are cool, and we like shiny rocks. Shiny rocks
we do.
Are very nice. Here's a question from Nathan F. Have you ever considered how Mega Man 11 could be adapted into a comic?
Oh, sure. It happened after Mega Man 10.
But
No, I mean, it would be certainly a switching of narrative gears because it doesn't seem to acknowledge anything up to that point. It's very standalone.
Was that an intentional pun? Switching in gears. Gears. Anyway.
Unintentional, but it's just that deeply ingrained in me.
Uh-huh. I know.
It's an affliction. I can't stop it. So I never put a ton of thought into it because the Mega Man book was on hiatus for that so long. I've kind of forgot where everything would go. But yeah, if the book had gone long enough, we would have gotten to it.
It would have been interesting because when the book started, Mega Man 11 was not out there. Also, a hiatus in giant air quotes.
You know what? Come to think of it,
anyway,
had we continued going by my game plan when we started the book, we would be coming up to around Mega Man 10 next year. Man, that's a weird thought.
Why did you have to take this away from us, somebody somewhere? I don't want to point fingers. Archie. Anyway. Here's a question from Gem Princess. Are Surge and Kit fans of Chun-Li or Bowser? I ask due to how all of them wear similar black bracelets with white spikes. I think it's just a cool look, man.
It is a cool look, but I think Surge would appreciate Chun-Li's butt kickitude.
Yeah,
but Bowser's rain fire and ruin governments and conquer people and cause misery isms.
Yeah, but Chun-Li would not like Surge.
Oh, no. She'd kick her face in.
Oh, yeah. No, they would not get along in the slightest. But I don't know. How would Kit feel about them? Oh, wait. Surge would just tell him how he feels about them. Yeah.
You like them. I like them.
Of course he does. Here's one from Ryuk the Darkrai. Or Darkrai. I'm not 100% sure. So I say it both ways. I'll say it both ways. Favorite character that comes from the IDW series? Starline's dynamic with Eggman, his awesome introduction, and his formal yet deliciously dark personality made him my personal favorite.
Yeah, he was fun. I feel weird picking one of them as my favorite. I like them all. Like, I enjoy Tangle's enthusiasm. I like Whisper's depth and unique kit. I like Rough and Tumble's stupidity and their rhyming gimmick. I like Clutch's classiness and his low tier but still menacing villain status. I like Belle's fish out of water type of relationship, especially early on as she's finding her way. I like Mimic's gimmick and his spookiness. Starline was a treat to write. I like them all.
I like Whisper. And all the rest of them too. But, Whisper's my favorite. Hashtag shy a woo. What do you think about Surge and Kit?
Oh, yeah, them. Yeah, they're all right.
Yeah, they're all right. Yeah. Uh-oh. Oh, boy. Actually, we haven't had a lot of time with them, I know, but
yeah.
I've really gotten into Surge. I mean, yeah, she's like a horrible person. But
she's fun.
But almost as much as Starline. But like Starline, she's fun. And I don't know, I like her as the rival. And, Sonic has no shortage of rivals, but she's kind of different. So she's great. Just she's just fun, even though she's evil. But hey, happens to the best of us. I mean, wait. All right, here's one from Blazing Draco. Is there a possibility of an imposter clone similar to Surgeon Kit for Knuckles in the future?
I think we've touched on this in the past. And no, because number one, that was already Starline. He was the Knuckles analog for the Glitch Trio. Beyond that, we don't have Starline anymore. Who's going to make this knockoff? And three, I don't really see it necessary for the dynamic. The whole mindset behind the creation of Surge and Kit was the duality of Sonic and Tails. Knuckles is the cool third edition, but he's not part of that dynamic duo. Team Sonic of the three of them, that's a fun unit to be sure, but Knuckles is still like the addition to it. Sonic and Tails are the core duo, and I think that's all we really need right now.
Yeah. All right, here's one from Dan F. What are your plans to put IDW characters in games or shows like Sonic Prime? Would that take like 2030 or not so long? And my question is on the list. Yes, it is, and we're answering it right now. You're welcome.
Haha. I don't have the authority to just outright do that. I can make suggestions. I can ask permissions. I can try here and there, but it has to be, a stated intention. I can't just kind of sneaky weasel something in there. So if they are present, then it is known by all in parties involved.
Well, there you go. Here's one from Kato90. What would Boom Eggman's dynamic with Agent Stone be like?
I think that would be the best ending for Agent Stone.
I feel like Stone might be a little put off at first, but then he would get into it, yeah.
Yeah, Boom Eggman doesn't have quite the same presence as movie Eggman, but he's also way more affable.
Yeah.
He would appreciate Stone and all his hard work. So they would get along swimmingly. They would have a good time. They'd be good buddies.
I mean,
Stone would actually be positively reinforced.
I mean, Jim Botnick actually is not completely terrible to Stone and seems to appreciate him. But
Boom Eggman isn't going to do surprise nut shots.
But no, yeah, you're right. He's not going to do that. He's at least not going to do things like that. Yes, you're right. Yes. Jim Botnick is still a jerk, but, he'd at least be nicer than mainline current Eggman, I think.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
But Boom Eggman would go up for a high five and leave it at a high five. And Stone would flinch the first few times and realize, no, wait, that's all there is to it. I'm home.
I like this guy. And he'd even get along with Orbot and Cubot. Here's a question from Leon D. If you were given an Omnitrix, what species from across fiction would you have as your first 5 transformations? 1 per franchise, please.
That is quite the opportunity. I'm going to say Changeling out of Deep Space Nine, because who doesn't want to be a perfect metamorph? Kryptonian, the DC universe, because, go sunbathing for 3 days, then I am a god. Quiet, you.
What'd she say?
She says I'm too Irish to sunbathe.
Well,
becoming a Kryptonian will give me the strength to do this, okay? Of course, I don't know the limitations to the Omnitrix, so I don't know if the counter would run out.
Well,
so I'm only going to get sunburned before I get actual powers.
Well, I'm too Norwegian to sunbathe, so.
Is there a species name for the Transformers?
I'd
like to turn into a truck. That'd be neat.
I thought just Autobots? Cybertronian.
Autobots?
There we go, Cybertronian.
Cybertronian.
That's
okay,
right.
Sure.
That's
I'll be
right.
Cybertronian.
Yes.
I mean, who doesn't want to turn into a truck sometimes?
Well, yeah. Well, they didn't turn into trucks originally, but they, when they came here, they learned how.
Oh, wait. No, never mind that. Forget truck. I'll just be Cybertronian, walk into the Museum of Natural History, turn into a Dinobot.
I was going to say.
There you go.
I was going to say.
There you go. Yeah, sure. Truck, whatever. They stay on roads. Me am Grimlock. Me am truest of Bumble Kings. Yeah, buddy.
Of course.
Two more. We're gonna pull a gargoyle out of the Disney series because they were cool.
I mean, they were, yeah.
Like, that's just really cool. They were just cool critters. So why not? I'm like not min-maxing or thinking of any kind of practical use. It's just, what would be cool to turn into?
Would you
And,
be
number
would you
five.
be a Mobian?
Nah.
Is that a thing? No. Okay.
I live and breathe Mobian. I need a break.
I don't know. I'm just throwing things out there.
I just had something. What was it? Let's see. Any franchises on the table, then I don't know. Pick a franchise with a cool sentient dragon. Let me a dragon.
A Dragon Ball?
Robot dinosaur one day, dragon on another.
So a Dragon Ball?
Yeah, but then I have to grant people wishes.
Oh.
And what if I get locked away in the forgotten Dragon Balls before the Omnitrix runs out? I don't want to be stuck like that.
Yeah,
that'd
true.
suck. No. We're like Dragonheart or Dungeons and Dragons, something like that.
Okay.
Fire Emblem.
There you go. All right. Here's a question from xSpineXX.x. What aspects of Tails' character do you think would be interesting to further explore that already haven't been?
If you've played Frontiers, I think you know that the stage is set, and I would like to use that as a foundation of moving forward. Looking at what his heroic aspects are, where they can grow, and if he can reach the lofty bar that he has set for himself, or if he perhaps needs to recontextualize what is it he really wants.
Well, he can fly, though. That's not really fair. He could reach pretty much any bar he wants. Here's a question from Jeffrey St. John. What was it like writing Tails' adventure for Sonic Universe? I loved it when Tails, Bunny, and Antoine worked together to defeat the Battlebird Armana and Speedy with his diaper?
Flight harness. It's a flight harness.
Of course it is.
That came from a very, very grainy sprite. We didn't have a lot of good artwork to work from back then. The arc itself was one of my favorites, though. That one came together very nicely. It had a fun cast that you don't get to see a lot of. I love the Battlebirds, so it was great to be able to flesh them out. And it's just a fun story.
Yeah, I agree. It was good. I liked it a lot. I should go back and read it, actually. Yeah. I should go back and read a lot of things. I should probably read a lot of new things that I haven't read yet, too. But I'm lazy. Here's a question from Kolmea D. So about that Mika from issue 54, is she a real person in Sonic's world, or just a character like Hatsune Miku?
That's more of a question for Evan Stanley. I don't know quite where she's going with that, and I'm interested to find out myself.
Fascinating. Here's a question from Vexer. Do other Zeti form packs just like the Deadly Six, or do they name their packs in a similar manner as the Deadly Six?
I don't know. And I'm sorely tempted to investigate that, because I know no restraint and want to go into every deep, dark corner of the Sonic lore and go nuts with it. I don't think there's enough people chomping at the bit to know the full biodiversity of Lost Hex and, the greater societal ramifications of the Zeti. But I'm just saying, if Sega knocks on the door and says, hey, you want to go nuts? I'm going to go nuts. I'm going to figure this out. I will write you the entire history of their people. I will do it.
Nobody's ready for Zeti. I guess that's the takeaway we've got here. Just can't do it. Can't be ready for Zeti. Here's a question from Victor the Wolf. What is the canon story of Shadow the Hedgehog?
Multiple choice.
Well, it all started 50 plus years ago on a space colony called the Ark.
We know the beginning is locked because it starts the same way every time. And we know that the final ending, the final chapter, final story, whatever it was called, where he turns into Super Shadow and kills Devil Doom and blows up the Black Comet. That's it. That's the final story. That's true. That's the canon ending. But how he goes from point A to point B, there's other routes. There's other possibilities. I mean, part of me is tempted to just sit down and go through all the Shadow story options and see what makes the most sense, what would have to be the route to truly get to the final chapter. But part of me feels like that's a fool's errand. Like there will be enough ambiguity that you could take just about any route, maybe. So I don't know.
Nope. There's no canon for Shadow. Shadow just is. That's it. That's all. Oh, well. We got one last question before we take a break, and it's from Mixmaster Bonnie 34. How would the Sonic Cast and the Homestar Runner Cast interact?
Hilariously, I would hope.
Yes. I feel like we've done this before, but, still, it's a good one to, it's a good one to go back to, There's a...
I'm pretty sure somewhere I mentioned I got the
ideas.
Cheat Commandos figures.
Yeah.
And was sorely tempted to just put together a Cheat Commandos Team Dark spoof.
Yeah, I do remember that. I want it.
Blue Lasers renting out one of Eggman's labs and they have to save Reynolds. Whoever that was, the guy in the tie.
Yes.
You're required to have a Sonic and Homestar race. It's just Sonic laps him so fast he doesn't realize he's been passed. So when he crosses the finish line, he figures he's won.
Well, of course. God, what is Strong Bad doing in this scenario?
He gets wind of Knuckles having this giant gem. And it's like, oh man, if he's here, no one's guarded the precious emerald.
Oh,
totally gonna steal it. You cheat? I need like 40 million cubic zirconiums of climbing rope. Get to
it. He already has emerald in mind. Coming up with cubic zirconiums.
Strong Mad manages to throw the rope high enough to latch onto the edge of the island, but then you gotta climb. And so, and he gets like maybe a couple feet off the ground, and he's struggling. He can't quite make it.
Oh, yeah. He may wear that luchador mask, but he's not in shape.
No. Everyone's terrified that, oh no, Dr. Eggman's come to attack, until the shadowy presence is revealed that it's just the king of town wedged into the Eggmobile. Help, I don't know how to get out of this. I thought it looked like a delicious egg. And then I got stuck.
I thought he was a real egg man. The final boss is Marshy. Sonic has to go.
I'm tempted to go on. I'm really tempted to go on a riff, but it would spoil the ending to Frontiers. So if you know what I'm thinking of, laugh at the thought of what it could be.
Sonic has to go super. Of course, Sonic has to go super to defeat Marshy. Oh gosh, that's silly. I like it.
God, I want King of Town just floating by in the Eggmobile. Find out that the whole thing started because Buzz was selling illegal black arms of egg tech.
Of course he was.
No. I totally thought he was a legitimate businessman.
Your first clue should have been that he didn't have any actual money.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, I can't do a good Strong Bad. All right, I think that's enough. Let's go ahead and take a quick break, and we'll be back with more on the BumbleKast.
We've got a sponsored ad from our good friend Daniel H. He says, I'd like you to meet Janie. She's a skilled musician, creator of the funny webcomic Fletcher Apartments, a loving wife, and just a cool cat you'd like to know. She could use some help. Janie's raising funds to help cover her gender-affirming surgery, and she's saving every last cent she can, but between the bills and the rent, it's not enough. Click the GoFundMe link to learn more. And spread the word, if you please. Thank you, and be well. We do have the link in the description below, so please give it a click and help Janie out if you can.
And we're back, and we got a question from JJ. Surge meets Big the Cat. What happens?
She's going to be a jerk. She's going to bully him, and he's going to be scared, and it's going to be a bad time. And then she's going to punt Froggy, and then Big's just going to do a big old wind-up baseball swing, and she's going to be sitting a clear kilometer. And when she finally lands, she's going to wonder, what happened?
I figured he just wouldn't care. Like, he'd just sit there, like, until he wouldn't do anything until he'd just sit there and she'd be like, throwing punches at him, or zapping him, and he just, like, it wouldn't affect him at all. And
Well, he's not
then
invulnerable. He can be injured.
are you really disparaging our Lord and Savior Big the Cat, Ian?
Well, what makes him so interesting is that he does have flaws despite his immense strength
Okay.
and his godly presence.
Okay, fine.
He's a gentle soul till riled.
Good point. Good point. Okay, fine. I'll give you that. Here's a question from Necromage. Do the other members of the Deadly Six respect Master Zeke as well?
I imagine so. They may be kind of sassy to him, but they're not going to cross him because otherwise he's going to beat him over the head with a big old whopping stick that he's got.
I suppose. Here's a question from the Sith Saiyan. Are there any plans to do future classic Sonic comics for IDW, or is the 30th anniversary comic just a one and done kind of thing?
I'm thinking this question came before the Tales special was announced.
Nope. It's from October 2022. So I think maybe they just weren't aware.
It was. Okay, well, there is a Tales special that's coming out
soon. TM.
By the time you're listening to this, should be out. Come to think of it. Surprise!
Yay!
It's classic Tales, and they go back to Flicky Island and they fight Witch Cart. Like, it is a deep, deep dive into the classic stuff. And something super special is one of the limited edition covers is done by Stan Sakai, of all people. The man behind Usagi Yojimbo did a freaking Sonic cover, man. Like, whoa.
Whoa. When are we going to have the Usagi Yojimbo Sonic crossover?
Whenever he wants it, you know?
I guess that's...
all the man has to do is say the word. Yes, sir. Let's do it.
Is IDW doing Usagi now? Publishing Usagi? I'm not sure.
I think they're doing, like, the collections.
Okay. Okay. I guess they've been doing it publishing it for a couple of years. Is it 2019? Huh. I don't know. That's really cool. I would like to see the Sonic Usagi Yojimbo crossover. I'm ready. Here's a question from Madam Mobius. Do you feel like everyone being able to go supers sort of cheapens the form? You've expressed interest in Super Amy, but how far would you want to go with who can and can't?
That is a good point, and it's the current thinking. You know, why not everyone can just go whoosh? I feel like Amy is due, and if not like a super form, then something. Because she has been the leading lady of the Sonic franchise forever. So
that poor girl's been through heck and back. She needs something. Give her something.
Yeah. Knuckles, I think he deserves one.
Yes.
Just because he is like the Sonic rival, or should have been, always. Go watch the Divergence cartoon and tell me you don't want to see a Super Knuckles after that, you know?
Yeah.
Tails, I feel like he kind of deserves one too, but he needs to work towards it. But after that, I feel like that's enough. That is a large cast of transforming characters if you include Shadow and Silver and Blaze on top of it all.
Yeah.
That's a lot of principal cast with special forms, and it's hard enough to find a good opportunity to make a singular super form really feel special. Having too many is only going to compound that problem, and if you expand it beyond that, then yeah, it's who cares? Everyone goes super. It's like how Super Saiyan means nothing now in the Dragon Ball world. It more or less meant nothing by the end of the Boo saga, to be honest. So there needs to be some limitation. There needs to be mindfulness towards the escalation. But I would like to see a few more get something.
Yeah, it would be really nice to see, because I know it's one thing to like, you kind of end up with like a power creep. Like, if everyone's super, no one is. But at the same time, it's like, come on. It's been long enough for at least some people. And it's always just fun to think about, like, if your favorite character went super, what it would be like. What would they do? What would their powers be? What would they look like? You know, be cool. So it's fun to think about. Needs to happen at some point, at least for some of them. Here's a question from Vice. How would a Moebius version of Saffron Bee work?
She'd be the real power behind the throne. She'd be telling Charmy what to do, how to run things.
Yeah.
The Golden Hive Empire conquering one thing after another. raising more hives, creating more drones.
Yeah.
And she's smart enough not to put a target on her head. Yeah. Oh no, evil King Charmy is conquering everything. That jerk. Yeah, you're just gonna write that check to me. I'll handle all the finances. Thank you.
Yes, I like it. Here's one from System 509. If Sonic had to deliver all the Christmas gifts in the world to help Santa, would Shadow try and steal them Grinch style to prove he could deliver them better later?
No. Shadow wouldn't care. He's very much bah humbug. He's Ebenezer Scrooging this. He's not involved. It's Eggman who tries to steal all the presents. Just have them.
Of course.
And then you have Sonic, catch a missile to the side of the head, and oh no, that made him sprain his ankle. How did the missile to the head sprain his ankle? Shut up. And he's like, Shadow, I can't go on. You're the only one who can save Christmas now. And that's when, Shadow very stoically walks over to the sleigh, sits down, and with the most stern of expression goes, Claus control.
On Prancer, on Dancer, on Dasher, on Vixen.
On Comet, on Cupid, on Donner and Blitzen.
That's right. I want it. Christmas
this
control.
Is what you wanted, isn't it, Maria?
I was going to say.
A chance for everyone to have a Merry Christmas.
I was going to say. I feel like Sonic would have pulled the... Maria would want it card. Like, Maria would want everybody to have a Merry Christmas. Don't you think? Merry Christmas, Shadow the Hedgehog. I would like that. It would be nice. Antonio S. has a question. If Knuckles was no longer the guardian of the Master Emerald, who would be?
I think Chaos would work. Chaos and Tikal working in tandem.
Yeah.
Like, let them just kind of, you walk up to the Master Emerald like, oh, hey, there's nobody here. I think I'll do some larceny. And you try to take it. But then there's this little pink floating spirit who's like constantly following you and tracking your movements. And then every body of water reaches out and slaps you.
And then a badger full of conspiracy shows up out of nowhere and causes you to go crazy with all her yammering. So you just walk away.
Don't touch that. Don't you know it's full of dihydrogen monoxide? Yes, Sticks. That's the chemical nomenclature for water.
Yes.
So what you're saying is I'm right.
Yes. Oh, Rouge could totally guard it.
Yeah. Huh?
And at her house. Where'd the island go? Oh, it's in the water again. Crap.
No, she just makes the island her personal retreat now. That's where she stashes all her stuff.
Oh, yeah. I guess that would work, yeah.
You want to try to get it back? Good luck getting up there.
It's true. That would be good. That would be funny. But alas, it may never happen. But who knows? Maybe it could. Here's a question from I'm a Waffle Lad. What subject would Eggman turn to if he gave up on robots and general tech?
Theoretical mathematics, physics, something with big numbers.
Really? You wouldn't go biology and then start messing with people's DNA?
I don't think so. I mean, with all the robotics that he does, that takes a lot of math anyway.
True.
That's
true.
A lot of geometry and algebra. He's geared for number thinking.
Number thinking. Good old number thinking.
Number thinking. Yeah.
Here's a question from Soundwave. What's your opinion on the storybook games? Ignoring the janky gameplay, what do you think of the story aspects?
They're both good. It's been a long time since I went through Secret Rings. I feel like its narrative progression is a little rocky from what I can recall. And you have the built-in issue of if the flame in Sonic's chest is depleting his, life, and he's supposed to be getting weaker as the story goes on, but you're still performing well, if not better, because you're leveling him up. And yeah, it's a little incongruous, but incongruous. Say the word right. But Black Knight, that's one of the premier titles. I think everyone agrees that's one of the best, if not the best, Sonic story.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that, really. Maybe not the best in terms of gameplay, but, you take what you can get, I suppose. Here's one from The Might of Gabura. You said Plato and Aristotle's philosophies don't exist in Sonic, but according to the Sonic 06 Prima Guide, Aristotle was a philosopher, implying they do in fact exist. So, response?
Eh.
I mean, was the Prima Guide official? I don't know.
It's not 100% accurate. I know that for sure because it doesn't have all the metal locations where they said it would be.
I mean, we know the Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles Prima Guides were not official.
And,
Oh, it is.
Shadow 06
say it's
has
official.
a bit of...
So...
Shadow the Hedgehog has a bit of dialogue in game talking about some diplomat from Japan, and Japan doesn't exist in Sonic's world. So,
says
everything is canon. Nothing is true.
Japan is right over there. What are you talking about?
We're not on Sonic World, Kyle. We're on our world.
But Sonic's world is now Earth, apparently. So
yes, Sonic's Earth, his version of Earth.
No, that's not it. No. Okay, fine. I would take whatever's in a Prima Guide with a grain of salt, even if it says official on the cover. Just maybe don't trust it completely. Here's one from Beyond the D. Ian, how do you explain Eggman outrunning Sonic in the final stage of Sonic the Hedgehog 2? Also in other games, but let's focus on Sonic 2. Aside from in-gameplay moment, what else?
He had a head start, and all that mass gave him a lot of inertia.
He's got long, spindly legs, so it helps.
Sonic was tired from fighting Mecha Sonic.
Yes. Also, it's in space, so he, gravity was lower. Because that's totally how it works in Sonic. So, yeah. He was Naruto running. There we go. Yes, he was ninja running. And of course, as we all know, they can't get you all if you all run in at the same time. Here's one from Metal Skulkbane. Are Amy's abnormal abilities attributed to anatomy, or does the heroic hedgehog's huge hammer hold her secret source of super strength? Signed, Aggravating Alliteration Aficionado. I don't find that too aggravating, actually. I find that pretty dang good. Good job,
Positively delightful. Top marks.
Yes.
That is actually under discussion, so we'll see what the final answer is one day, maybe.
Amy is the second strongest character to Big, as she should be. As she should be. We got a question here from Syed C. Any plans or anything you want to expand on or spitball about a Sonic the Zone Cop? This sounds like a Lost Hedgehog Tales thing to me, but hey,
No, because maybe, but off the top of my head, I don't remember anything that we had planned for the Zone Cop dimension. I think we were kind of done with it for a bit. It was a neat idea. It was a fine theme that was easy to riff on, but I kind of feel like once you've seen it, you've kind of seen it all. I feel like the Zone Jail, was the culmination of it. We've seen the system and whatnot. I mean, maybe we could get the parallel judiciary system, who's the judge of everyone. Maybe Judge Zogel sits in judgment of everyone before him. But I don't know. I think we saw enough of it at the time.
All right, here's a question from Disarity. Do you know who Romy Chacon is?
I think so. I can't talk about it.
Does their name rhyme with Bustin' Fabry? Here's a question from Shonen Boys. Hey, Ian and Kyle, do you mind gushing about the TMNT 2012 cartoon and express why you like the series? It's my favorite version of the TMNT, along with IDW.
I remember parts of it fondly, like season 1, season 2.
There's a lot of good things about it that I really enjoy, and there's a lot of really annoying things that really just come on, you can do better than this.
It felt really tight at first, and then everything after point kind of felt like, here's the new idea that we're going to sprinkle concepts into and never fully investigate them. Because, remember when April was a Krang? Surprise!
Yeah.
You gonna do anything with that?
No. It took them forever for her to make her a full-fledged member of the team, too. And even then, they still kind of didn't really include her or things like that. And Karai was a freaking barrel of wasted potential.
Also, easily my least favorite version of Casey Jones.
Oh yeah, I actually didn't mind this version of Casey, but I mean, I get that. He is kind of annoying.
That being said, I'm sorry, Shonen Boys. I feel like we're crapping on your favorite here. One of the best incarnations of Shredder, to be sure.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Like, he was a force to be reckoned with. When he showed up, you knew bad times were coming. I don't think he ever actually lost a fight. Like, at best, it was a draw.
Yeah.
And, Leatherhead gets a hold of him. And even then, he still walks away. Just, woo. He's a scary man. Scary man.
Yes. God, I remember
one of the best versions of Splinter.
Yes, that too. I'm remembering
Sorry, you're going to say
the Rat King episode with Splinter. God, that was
creepy.
That was a very creepy episode. That one was really well done. Yeah,
I didn't like it because it was very creepy, but it was well done.
Yeah. Oh, I liked it, but it was like, whoa! I was just kind of amazed that they went that direction with it. But yeah, it's a great series. I love the art style. I like the art direction. I think the core Turtles personalities are all really good, spot on.
Yeah, I like that they made Leo a dork.
Oh yeah, of course.
Like, he's just a turbo nerd, and he wants to aspire to be a great person, and he takes all its influences from old media. I dig it. I like it.
He's a turbo nerd, but in a different way from Donatello.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, it feels like other incarnations of him struggle to give him a decent personality, except maybe Rise.
Mm-hmm.
But that version of him was really good. I like that, and of course, Michelangelo's always good fun.
I mean, I call it a monocle now. I can't say monocle anymore because of Mike.
Good old monocle. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of great stuff in that show. There's also a lot of stuff that's just frustrating, but I do appreciate some of the references to like the comics and other stuff they had. The crossover episodes where they brought back some of the older incarnations of the Turtles were fun.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they're kind of just silly one-offs, it's fun to see that. So here's a question from Smash Zapper 85. You've pitched spin-off titles for many Sonic characters, but what do you think a Blaze spin-off would look like?
Oh my god, dude. Just get into her world. Get into the hierarchy of the Imperial Palace, explore the planet, deal with the lore behind the emeralds and the jeweled scepter, create new villains and rivals across the world, since the pirates are all apparently dismantled, but who cares, because the world is ripe for exploration. Just go nuts with it. Extended casts, different islands, different locations, different biomes. I'm spoiled for choice. It's just like, fill in the world and have Blaze be awesome as she goes through it.
I mean,
oh god.
You got the engine, Sonic Frontiers. You just plop Blaze in there and make the world bigger. Make it a huge, sprawling open world with various islands. Wind Waker this crap, man. But bigger islands. And yes, I want it.
I don't know about that. I know this is not related to the question, but I like the size of Frontier as islands. Like, they're big enough to explore.
Oh, no. I mean bigger than...
They don't ever say what.
Bigger than Wind Waker's.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Not, they don't have to be bigger than Frontiers's. No. No. Unless you can come up with a good way to fill it with stuff to do. But no. I mean, at least bigger than Wind Waker's, but just have that travel between them, Maybe not forever travel, but at least a little bit of it, It could be fun.
Marine's got a boat. Let's go.
That's right. I want that. I want it. And they'll never do it because they'll be like, how do we market Blaze? No one knows who Blaze is. Here's a question from Danksyo. Have you seen the new Sonic Speed Simulator update? They added the Werehog.
I still haven't played yet. I need to eventually. Yeah. But as we covered from the beginning, I don't have time to play what I want to play anyway.
Yeah, nope, I haven't played it yet either. But I like it. I like it. it exists, and it's really cool that they're doing stuff with like weird, obscure Sonic lore that hasn't been addressed in forever, and Sega's kind of just letting them do it.
Mm-hmm.
So, And we finally come to our last question for this episode. It's from Ty Lennon SFD. Mr. Flynn, can I call you Daddy?
If that makes you happy. I ain't sending you a birthday card, though.
That's it. That's all we got.
That's a good note to end on, right?
Of course it is, Daddy.
Calm blue ocean. Calm blue ocean. Before we go, we're going to give a big thank you to all the folks over at patreon.com/BumbleKast, Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, and our YouTube members who not only sponsor us, but allow us to do our monthly live Q&A sessions where we get questions like this. Big thank you to Daniel H., James K., Jennifer R., John B., Robotnik Home, Sam Cybercat, Samuel P., Torch Brown, Mike B., Dave M., Andrew D., Salute Your Cat, Coupland Crew 128, J. Frost, Duas Dizden, Hero of Light 13, Professor Scruffy Matt, Ryan D., Chris A., Noni, Sony, Triforce Riku, John M., Jib, Don B., Yami M., Fiona M., Lee H.K., Lisa M., Invade Turbo Tunis, Ben Wolfsbane, Chevelle, Sonic, Scurvy Pirate Hog, Keeper of Monsters, Axis Tick Tick, Xander Oni the Painter, Arc Fighter, Jonathan D., The Name is X, Solaris Stain, Nimric, Godzilla, Justin S., Quaggle Gaggle, Professor Rye, Alex G.S., Ava Arctic, Cameron H., Dove, Dadler the Dalek, Sonic Legacy, Just a Mountain Soul, Pedanti Cat, Starlight Sec, Nondol, Red the Supernamic, Twilord, Chad, Les, Jennifer H., Chaos Sonic 1, The Disgayan, Jolene B., Alpha Mono Yukon, Joshua S., Omega Watt, Dapper Shinks, Preston M., Noah S., Of the Stars, Sonic 84, Kojiro Highwind, Awesome Cakester, Supersonic Fan, Radry, Ink Finks, and Tails, Chase L., Derisival, Callan Q., Red Wolf, Wild 48, Maddie H, KGB, Miles the Prower, Navarre, Exdel, Agent Kaz, In Zephyr, For Sonic Fan, The Marble Gardener, Rhythm Raccoon, Mox, Queen Violet, Chaos Shadow, Miggy Sawdust, Big Dan 20, Ty Cyan, Owen BD, Vlad, Ozjam, Shimmy M, Puppy the Scholar, Curly Quills, Angela V, Michael P, Smiley 21, The Flower Garden, Sammy S, Delta God 77, Sterling Sonic, Mr. JF, Jube, Conga, Shakira Law, Rocket Man, Windskull, Delante, Supernova, Indabinda, Superior Pizza, Sonic Pedge, Thigolf, Caswell, Mr. Murderbird, The Giant Murdering Bird, Lacey M, Crucified Demon, Loop D Loop, Omega Man 21, Phi, Leaders of the Freedom Fight, Tatsu Knife, Jason G, Ultra Guy, Cody G, Crowbo, Sonic Mania 2099, Hadronis, Nils, Noob 600, Paley, Bug Party, Zay Cartoonist, What If Sonic Met the Joker, Spider Jimmy 23, Speedweed, Pizza Person, Mini Hats, Green Hill Zone 900, Damien the Hedge, Ryakushian, Sonic Bot, Peter M, El Technopada, Buttered Noodles, Miles Prower D, Frost the Hobbidon, Danny the Light, Metamode, Wheels 2D2 Hedgehog, and Jamal S.
You are all daddies in my book.
That's going to wrap us up for this edition of the BumbleKast. Be good to yourselves, be good to each other, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you, Daddy.
Stop that.
Anyway. What can I say except you're welcome? You're welcome. Danticat is saying Dream Daddy, but with Ian and Kyle.
No, that does not need to exist.
Well, I mean, no, it doesn't really, but it's funny. I mean, if they did want to incorporate us in there, sure, why the heck not?
No, there is nothing you need to know. It's fine.
Come on, Ian, unplug the headphones.
No.
Do it. Do it.
No.
Listen, if Aaliyah was going to kill me, she'd have done it years ago. She's had plenty of chances. It's her own fault. She didn't have to talk to me all those years ago on the Overclocked Remix forum. She could have just, like, you know, smiled and nodded and just been like, yep, that guy. That guy. See, I told you. But she won't go through with it. Come on. The least she could do is give me the courtesy of actually going through with it. Lee says, come visit again, loser. I want to. You have no idea how badly I want to. She won't kill me, though. I'm not a father figure. Do not look up to me. I am not. I am not a father figure. I am not any sort. I should not be any sort of anybody you look up to. I am not. I'm not. Okay, good. You look down on me, Scurvy? Thank you. Thank you. That's where I belong. You don't look up to me. I'm not the kind of person that you do that with. You've been listening to the BumbleKast, a co-production of Bumble King Comics and the KNGI Network. Original theme music composed by Ken Coda Snyder. Remixed intro by T-Lopes. Find out more information, along with podcast feeder links, MP3 downloads, and more at bumbleking.com and kngi.org. How unhinged I am? I am hinged? How dare you? How dare you say I'm unhinged? My hinges are more hinged than anyone's hinges. I am well aware that it is recording day. I was just being silly.
You being silly.
Not on this show. Not actually, not ever.
Heavens to Murgatroyd.
No, I certainly would not do like a minor viral tweet apparently today. Very minor.
Oh.
Viral for Sonic fans, at least. All I did was post a challenge, Ian. All I did was tweet a challenge. All I said was scare a Sonic fan in 2 words. It's not my fault that people are replying to it. I didn't make it happen. The first 2 words I came up with were Forces Model. The second 2 words I came up with, Ian Flynn.
Absolutely terrifying.
I mean, to some people,
truly a kaiju of the franchise.
To some people, yeah. Another good one is Meta Era. It's also a very good one. Bisexual Sally. I liked that one. And of course, gotta have Sega mandates.
Yes. Scary, scary mandates.
Boo.